Is it time for another room update? It is, but it's not that much different. Alright, so I understand that the treasure heap is growing. It's just I'm running out of... I'm actually out of space, to be honest. I'm out of space for things. My room is now much different. Obviously, you can see it's just overpiling at this rate. There's just so much stuff everywhere that I desperately need more space. You know what I'm saying, folks? There are some new few things in here, like the Ichiban Kujisora guy. I actually wasn't expecting it to be that small. It actually looks a lot bigger on photos. So, for it to be, like, the size of my hand, it was very surprising. Still need the Roxas. I'll get him eventually. I'm not in any rush. I'm not... You're not going to catch me paying 70 bucks for that thing. Not a chance. Shout out to my boy, Takuto, for getting me this thing for $5. You know what I'm saying? Deal of the century, you know, right? So, my girlfriend at Christmas and her mom got me this cool shadow box for Chain of Memories, which is pretty sweet. Obviously, they know, after I've drilled it to them, this is my favorite one, so I'm really glad that they went out of their way to find something to accommodate me, you know what I'm saying? So, we have, like, file form, don't mind that. We have the Tamagotchi guy, a bunch of pins, and some of the keychains. I think the other one fell behind there. It should be behind there, I don't know. Most of this stuff's pretty much the same. Up here is, like, my signed section. So we have, like, Nomura, and, you know, Katase, and, like, a bunch of the English voice actors and stuff. And then this one also has Hironobu Sakaguchi and Tayasue, another Tetsuya Nomura. And here's a Shinji Hashimoto from Luca Games and Comics. Comics and Games, whatever. That's where, like, my prize stuff is. Obviously, there's another signed thing in the glass cases, but I'm pretty sure everybody's already seen that. So over here, obviously, is all of the games, and covered in stickers from, like, Nintendo New York, and random stuff I collected at events, and all kinds of things, and more Epic Mickey, just lots of Kingdom Hearts games in there. I'm trying to go for every version available. So that means, like, every language, every region, every country, every cover variant, every release or version of the game that ever got released, I'm buying. So, you know, obviously we have a bunch of doubles in here. So, like, here's some Walmart cards. Like, this, for example, this is the story so far, and this is the newer print version of the game. Do I have the other copy around here? It might be in there. So... in any of the first prints, there should be a blot, basically, right by Aqua's face. Maybe I can put it up on the screen. But, yeah, the newer ones don't have that. And then, obviously, we have... Alright, so my phone camera decided it wanted to crash, so that's pretty sweet. So we have these versions of the games. This is essentially just a regular copy of Kingdom Hearts 2, except for it's from... Hollywood Video. It's just an interesting little case. No manual, no nothing in here. I mean, eventually maybe I'll get a manual for this just to make it look like, you know, fancy and official. But the first game also had one, although that one was a lot weirder. I mean, they have like a synopsis of the game, some of the controls and stuff, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's not really a release of the game, but it's a different cover, so, you know, that's why I wanted it. I have like some of the European stuff. And then look, over here there's more! I'm just rolling around in Kingdom Hearts copies, like this copy of Birth by Sleep, which was available from Target and Walmart, because it had this very slipcover. And then, we have just more copies of the remixes. I just have too many of these. I think I'm up to like 16 at this rate, you know what I'm saying? It's just ridiculous. Here's a cool one. This is a copy of Days. It's got a cool slipcover. I believe it was a pre-order bonus from GameStop, I think. But yeah, those are just some of the wacky different versions. Here's the Integrum Masterpiece. You know, I have like the Japanese versions of the remixes and more Japanese versions of the remixes. All kinds of cool stuff, you know? So up there is my Back to the Future stuff. I got some Hot Toys. Just variations of the things. So Hot Wheels and dioramas and lenticular photos and stuff. Pretty cool. Big Back to the Future guy, so you know, I like to collect stuff whenever I get the chance to. Obviously, over here is like where all the standees and stuff are, and all the random junk. This is like promotional materials. So these are like cubes. Here's a giant PSP that was used as a store display. This thing is huge, man. It's really cool. It's like a giant PSP. Like, it's my hand. Huge. So, I think that's really cool. And that's for the original Birth by Sleep, not the final mix. And then back behind the standee is just, look at this, more stuff. Posters, more standees for the Ichiban Kuji. We got the novels, graphic novels. Here's stuff from the premiere party from Japan, and then the Nendoroids, puzzles, all kinds of just stuff. You know what I mean? And then like up here, we have like the passport cover and these things from the Nissan Ramen collaboration. Just a bunch of the plushies. Here's a poster. There's the box for the limited edition 3DS and the PS4 there. My poor Proplica keychain is just covered in plushies and not displayed properly. I got this cool gummy ship. I could go on. There's just so much. And the thing is, I got half of this stuff stored in my closet because I have no room for any of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, over here we have, oh yeah, I already went over this. This is like, there's the amiibo. Here's some of, look, there's another variation of the game. This was the 10th anniversary collector's box. Here was the, everything falls in this place. Here was the Tales of the Sword thing covered in dust. I gotta really dust this place. It's just, I get self-conscious about it, but you know, when you dust it 3 times a week, nothing you can do, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this is the Tales of the Sword Keyblade pin. I think it's really cool because it is, like, Goofy's shield. The Knight shield. And then here we have, like, some of the Ultra Detail figures from Series 2. Series 1 is in the cases, and I have a full set of Series 2 unopened. I didn't open them yet because I have nowhere to put them. So I just kept them in their boxes for now. So we had like King Mickey, Pete, Sora, Riku. Should be another one around here. Oh, yep, over here. Chippendale. So that was that. So now we've covered basically over here and a lot of the posters and the 20-year-old juice. It's pretty gross. I don't know if I've ever shown this on camera. Literally gnarly. This is a Seth Kearsley drawing. I could just go on. There's just so much stuff. Like, check this out. This was a pen. I actually think this is a pencil. If it's not going to focus. It should say Kingdom Hearts Final Mix on it. But we're not focusing, so it's fine. It's not a big deal. Obviously, over here we have more posters. We have, like, store display photos, poster, the banner. These were from PAX. I have a double of, I think, these two. I'm still looking for another one of these. This is the GameStop Power Up Rewards 2.5 poster. Weird how they left this, like, area blank, though. Not really understanding that part. But part of the room, you know? So in the cases, I don't really think much has changed in the last 2.5 years. I don't really know. My Tron shelf has grown. I think I'm only missing a couple things to have every single Tron merchandise for the franchise in general. I think it's just like a postcard, different from that one, and I think a shirt. or something else. I have all the figures and everything. I even have the Diamond Select prototype for the Donald, because it was never manufactured and distributed, mass produced and stuff. So I have the unpainted prototype for that, so that's I'm really, really happy about, because he never got released, and you know, which is weird because they released Goofy and Sora, but they never released Donald. Not really entirely sure why. So I can just skim across here a lot. I have every Bring Arts and I have every Play Arts Kai, even the 3 new ones. So they're in here. I just recently put Riku and Kairi in this shelf, I think about a month or 2 ago. They've just been sitting in their boxes since I got home from Japan in 2023 at this rate. So it's been a while since they've just been sitting around. All right, so yes, we got back from Japan. Here's the poster book. I have 2 of them, actually. One of them is completely unopened. One of them is open, just in case I want to like hang stuff up in the future, possibly. This is one of my prized possessions right here. This is the original press documents for the first Kingdom Hearts at E3 2001. So you got your media CD, which had a bunch of your stuff on it, like photos, images, well, they're about the same, but like media, videos, like your trailers and stuff. And then this is a postcard set that includes a bunch of like key arts from all of the properties that are in this press kit. I'm gonna showcase like the first Kingdom Hearts. It talks about like basically the pitch documents. So we're gonna go over here. This is like my Hot Toys section. So I have some Hot Toys and some Legos. Here's another bottle cap display. I have one over here. I wanted to buy a second one. Came broken, so I'm using it currently as a little display shelf for Captain Rex, and you know, I have Jack Sparrow and Spider-Man and the Green Goblin here, and Darth Vader and Obi-Wan as well. I also just started collecting PlayStation 2 games. I currently have just under 200 of them. Starting up, I have them in alphabetical order. I have some like really heavy hitters, and then obviously you have bulk that I can't fit in the shelf. Here's a bunch of random assorted other titles with Gear 5 Luffy. I'm a big fan of this guy. Obviously, I like his figures. I think the design is really nice. Yeah, so I can show some of the games here. Let's see if I can... I know as I further get down, it'll be harder for me to showcase some of the lower stuff, unfortunately, but here is some PC games I have. The Walt Disney World Explorer, I used to play this as a kid. And then Tiger Woods and Glover from the Nintendo 64, from Limited Run Games. So I've started collecting PlayStation 2. I want to kind of get more into that. I want to aim for a complete set as well. So then we have my desktop setup. It's 3 monitors. It's a pretty cool computer. It's right down there. I have it on cardboard. It's not on the carpet. And then my desk, of course, is just littered with stuff. So we have all like my Clone Wars Legos up top. Here's some more Hot Toys here. Anakin and Obi-Wan in their Clone Wars outfits. Spider-Man and Mysterio. Here's a little like Egyptian shelf. And look at this, more Kingdom Hearts. I have the Docomo phones. A lot of like the Ultimanias and Funko Minis and all kinds of things. And that pretty much wraps up the room tour again. I know I kind of went a little bit too crazy fast. I mean, if you see anything that you're really interested in knowing about, let me know. Oh, Shiki's on the floor again. She fell over. Obviously my PS5 and my Switch and stuff like that, but just let me know. There's just too much stuff to go over. In my closet there is probably another double amount of all of this stuff. I've run out of room, guys. I can't even lie to you by saying I'm running out of room. I'm out of room. But I hope that satisfies the collectors in you. Gets you motivated. You know what I'm saying? Gets you motivated, because collections don't just happen like this. You buy one thing at a time, and then you hoard all of this stuff. That's how you get whatever this is. It took me a long time to accommodate all of this stuff, and you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. So, see you later.
Hey! Is anyone out there?